when I first got my first job in Cary, North Carolina, I was able to coach tennis at the high school for 2 or 3 years. And, we were pretty good. We'd go play Broughton, and they'd just beat the tar out of us. So I decided, why don't I try to get to Broughton? And by then, I had worked on getting a certified professional degree from the people in Hilton Head Island. They run the certification down there. Went there in '83, and then 5 years later, we won the state title. 5 years, so 88, 89, 90, we won back-to-back state titles at Broughton in boys tennis. And then I got the girls team finally. We never started winning until 94, 95. My girls teams at Broughton won the first 2. And then starting in 98, we won 7 years in a row, state 4A titles, and never lost a match. And but I just love the competition, and a lot of friends made. And turns out, I did it for like 45 years.
Steve and I have known each other for about 40 years. I came to Broughton in '86, and he arrived at Broughton a few years before I did. Our friendship was both personal and professional. It was one that I valued, and was very fortunate during my tenure at Broughton that I had a group of coaches that took ownership of their programs. And Steve was certainly one of those people.
And I always tell the kids this everywhere I've coached. You're out there, you don't usually, 99% of the time in tennis and high school, whatever, you don't have an umpire out there. It's your honor system. I said, I'd much rather you play a ball that's an inch out or 2 inches out and lose the match than call a ball that's an inch in or on the line and win a match. I said, I'll never yell at you for playing a ball that's an inch or 2 out. Now, if it's 3 or 4, you need to see that, or you need to go to the optometrist and get glasses. But so it's really a good honesty building sport for kids to learn to be honest and not cheat, do things the right way, and that's what I've always pushed.
Steve took a real interest in his players' lives. He still keeps up with them. I think he plays tennis with them and knows them. Keeps up with how they're doing in their professions and their lives.
It's the impact that he had on his students, his athletes. It's also the impact that he had on our athletic program. He set a standard by which other coaches could look at and say, this is something that I want to achieve. I think if the athletes were to look back on it and examine exactly the ownership he took, that they would say, that's something that has stuck with me also. That if you want to be successful, you have to do all the things that are necessary for success, not just the obvious. And Steve was one that was willing to put out the effort, the time, the energy, and commitment to providing excellence, not only in performance, but in presentation.
One thing my mom told me before she passed away, she had cancer, and we talked about a lot of things, and she said, look, the only thing I want to encourage you to do is be the best at something. Whatever you choose in life to be, whether it's a teacher, a coach, a farmer, or a lawyer, whatever you want to be the best. Try to be the best. It's just been a great lifelong hobby to be a coach and a teacher and be one of the best ones.